Hey, David.
Hello, greetings. So I saw the presentation this morning with SPDX about guac.
Oh yeah, cool. Hey, Caleb.
Hello, how's it going?
Good.
So the business model for guac is, or Gusari, is to have companies import their private SBOMs and dependency chains and into the rest and connect that up to the public graph that you created. And then that Gusari will keep that information cordoned off and proprietary.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of options. We're kind of early days, so
Okay.
yeah, like run guac, or people are going to need a lot of help getting like a process for however they build software and SBOMs to all like feed into guac, and then what do you do once you have that data? Like, do you build policies or like procedures on top of that and integrate that with the rest of your company?
Yeah, I mean, I was, honestly sort of worried that the next thing, or I mean, one of this is you combine it with a policy and they say, oh, your social credit isn't good, so we're going to just, remove your deployment abilities. So automatically. The autonomic use of this this graph could be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Thanks. So at risk of repeating myself, I'll say I think so. Our meeting invite got updated. The meeting notes document was replaced. The old one, I think it was owned by Dan, and it wasn't shared to everybody. You had to join the group to access it. So the Linux Foundation PM team took over the ownership, and now it's set to world writable. So like anybody can edit it. You don't have to join the group. I don't know how that's going to play out.
It's like random anonymous foxes and people on the dock, so it'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I just started today's.
Thanks. Yeah, I wasn't even sure which one I was opening because they look the same.
Yeah, I just picked the link and was like, I think it's this one.
Well, my calendar wasn't updating too, so like I have a couple different Google accounts, and like in one I was seeing it at the wrong time, and the other one I was seeing it at the right time, and I didn't know which one had the new link or the old link.
Oh no.
Yeah, I mean, I found that even when I went, I mean, I use Google Calendar and I can never get it to actually copy it from the OpenSSF calendar into my calendar at the alternating times. It always puts it at the whatever it was originally, the West Coast. So like, I mean,
Yeah.
I'll go in there and say, okay, yeah, I see it at 6 p.m. and I'm in the East Coast US, and let me copy this, and then it copies it and puts it, and it's like, no.
Yeah, I think they have to manually go and change every other one. And so when you copy the series, you get the base series. You don't get all the changed ones. I don't know if there's a way to do that.
The way to do it is to actually create the two meetings separately
two separate series.
Two separate meetings at
series,
a
yeah.
different time. Yeah, two series that like interleave
Right.
every second week, every fortnight, as we say down here.
So
Every month. Yeah, sorry.
right. So did we? I mean, I didn't. I mean, it seems there was rather low turnout last time. Was there any? Did you, Jeff? Did you just decide the rest of them for us? Or do we actually still have work to do?
Still have work to do. Yeah, I don't know who showed up last time. I think nobody. Okay, well let's go through some then. Let me
Yes,
say
no,
make sure I'm in
yes,
the right
yes,
doc.
no, yes.
Okay, thank you, Caleb. I'll share. All right, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, so this is the new one. I did this, so I think that's there. And then I put this on the other one. So if you see this at the top, you're in the wrong one. And then that's 518. Okay. Okay, cool. Let's go back to here. All right. Let's keep these two skipped again. Do these last few lines. Sonar cube. It has high Docker pull count data.
Hopefully that's not just someone's CI system.
Yeah, yeah, there's definitely a correlation between things used in CI and pull count data.
It's written in Java. What could go wrong?
It's a code quality analysis thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in some ways, this is sort of like self-referential. I mean, part of what the OpenSSF is trying to do now is create this Sterling toolchain. So does the Sterling toolchain automatically become critical software because it's Sterling toolchain?
I would say no.
I mean, it's like, you know, I guess we need to call I mean, by definition, our tools have to be critical, right? The OpenSSF, right?
I don't think so.
No? Okay, well, I mean, I just realized what's wrong with you, Jeff. Guac isn't listed. Why? I mean, okay, everybody in favor of Guac being critical software.
There needs to be like a minimum age for a project.
I agree. Yeah.
I'm trying to give you a free one here, Jeff. You're just turning it down. I mean,
Yeah.
you go to the VCs and say, "Look, we're already critical software." Come on, you know. You got to understand this game, Jeff. I mean, you're part of the startup. What's wrong with you? Now you make the big bucks.
The thing that would, so assuming we like accept that SonarCube is popular, the thing, its place in the CI chain is interesting, and the fact that it's parsing source code is interesting as well. But I really don't know who's using it.
Do we know, is this like, this isn't a super high GitHub numbers here, right? Or is it? Doesn't seem very active.
Their last release was February this year, so it's not. And if SonarSource, like if this is the nexus of their development, then okay, that's not a whole lot of activity. But if it's
not listed in the Omega 10,000 projects.
Yeah. I don't think we're finding any reason to say yes to this. So I'm gonna propose no.
I agree.
Yeah,
You?
I'd propose no as well, but again, I have a very narrow view of the world. Like,
Speak.
What is IF Docker? Full count?
TeamSpeak is a fairly popular
Yeah.
voice chat thingy. I mean, it's been around since I was in, like, since the early thousands, like a
Mhm,
long
mhm.
time. Is it a client that we're like? Is it a server? Like, what are we actually
Right,
referring
exactly.
to here? Is it a client, the server? Is it more than one aspect? Like, it's not actually clear what we are actually asked to be.
Yeah.
Well, what is it?
So it's basically VoIP.
No. But I understand.
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
wondering, what is the Git? Okay, because we don't have a link to the repo. So like,
Yeah, I
the
only know
best.
this is another Docker pull count.
Yeah, but what's the repo?
Yeah.
What's in the repo?
Yeah, that's a fair point. And it's like technically, like the license is
It
weird.
looks like you
It's
have to
this,
accept a license agreement to use the software.
like like on licensing terms, this could be a dubiously tricky one to deal with. The free, like, there's a free server license, but what is the license itself?
Yeah, this isn't.
So it's a Teams, yeah, it's a customer license. I would claim that this
Yeah,
is not quite open source.
yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Is probably, it's not to say it's not popular and used in a lot of places.
Right. I agree. That's a Telegraph. Okay.
Yeah.
Next, get on with life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Telegraph. What are you? You know, when you see plugin systems, you know there's an entire ecosystem of plugins somewhere that nobody's looking at. Although they appear to have a the plugins are built. There are plugins built into the repo itself.
We
So
have a
that's not bad.
criticality score on this one.
Team graph.
Not Telegram, sorry. Or sorry. Yeah,
Telegraph. Do you want me to find one?
Yeah.
We are still trying to fix the CRUD system for criticality score. Telegraph. All right, let's find it.
There's like a lot of, looks like there's a lot of users.
Let's see. So there's a Amazon plugin for it. That could be a big driver. Puppet. I mean, it definitely seems to be sort of a nexus for a lot of other
Yeah.
big ecosystems, homebrew. But the thing is, that I guess it uses influx data. So I mean, you need to make sure that are people commenting about Telegraph itself or about influx data, which is itself used a lot.
There's also, looking at this, there's a Telegraph. Oh, this repo itself has the score that I had from it last time was, hang on. If only the columns are in order. Default score is 0.65.
Is that high or low?
It's kind of in like, it's not high, that's for sure.
Okay. I mean, I think this is one that like we could see it becoming critical if it had more evidence. But it's like it seems like a popular and used project that
Exactly, it's popular, but it doesn't seem to be on the
Yeah.
critical path.
Yeah. Oh yeah, my other argument is like, yeah, things that are like necessarily like outside of the your core infrastructure, like collecting, processing, aggregating metrics, like if that's compromised and you have like a true zero trust architecture, then like what can it access? Like I don't know, it's
The
like a reading, it's a reading system.
The danger will be not the collection system; it will be the agents that do the collecting.
Yeah.
So it depends on how they are architected.
Yeah.
Usually, though, you have agents living inside the kind of software that you're monitoring. So this one is like, it would be worth looking at. What was the other one? There's another one that I was around for that was right at the top, and I can't remember what it's called because I'm having a blank on it at the moment. That's quite popular. Going through the main set, let's see if I can see it. We may have already rejected it, actually. I'm like, hang on a sec. I'll figure it. Sentry, that was the other one that we were talking about. I think we rejected it.
That is the sound here. Consensus on the no in the arguments.
Yeah, I agree.
This is a very high pulse note. This is,
Although they've split the columns.
yeah.
2 billion is huge.
Yeah.
That's almost 3. What is that? Be interesting to see like this in comparison to like Nginx and
exactly.
And HA proxy. All right, let's. I mean, I don't think it's as popular as HA proxy. And Nginx is like far outstrips them.
Yeah.
But it may be that it suits itself more to. I mean, there are to like Kubernetes uses. So it depends on.
Right. Like,
Yeah, it's a Kubernetes native API thing.
yeah,
Like I think it's tying itself to that.
it's needed.
I mean, I'm leaning to yes on this. Are you?
It's certainly more interesting than some of the other ones
Yeah.
with lower Docker pull counts. And it's the sort of thing where like it's accepting internet connections. I mean, the others are kind of like,
Right. I mean, it seems
Yeah.
sort of critical. I mean, that you know, its purpose is.
Yeah, I definitely agree that it's like in a part of like the purpose of the software is the critical in the critical path and would be very important. But yeah, the question is the usage, like how many, like, or should we just say Nginx HA proxy, or and then this is next, or
can we identify it in a Shodan query? Like, let's do a test. Let's see if someone does that.
I mean, you know, even if it's in a you know, duopoly or triopoly, it still seems important there.
yeah, but if it's like a distant third in usage.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's not critical. I mean, it's like if you know, in a sense, I mean, yes, you don't want, you know, onesie twosies, but if it's still used by, if there's some specific Kubernetes configuration, you know, that uses a lot, then it just gets embedded into lots and lots of microservices or lots and lots of, well, I mean, lots of containers everywhere. So it just becomes critical.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
even if there's like this one use.
Is it lots or is it not lots? Like, I don't know. Right.
I mean, 2 trillion. I mean, it's.
Yeah, that's a lot.
3 trillion.
Pretty, yeah. and it's not going to be like, the difference between this and some others is that some are like part of the CI chain of tooling. This is kind of more on the edge of your actual infrastructure. And given like the popularity in web attacks or HTTP attacks, this may be a reasonable one to include.
Yeah, I guess so. The pull count, like if it's, you know, every time a node starts or something, it has to pull this down.
Yeah, that's also not helpful.
But I mean, it kind of shows it, so people are actually using it. If you know, if it's right, so maybe that is a good.
I mean, it says, I mean, loved and trust. I mean, I don't know, I mean, you know, it's see, success stories. DuPont, NASA.
Everyone loves putting NASA on the list. It's
Carfax, Expedia.
All right.
eBay classified groups. Sainsbury, Bose. Expedia listed twice. Expedia listed twice. Ooh. Well, that's a negative. Thought people wouldn't notice that, huh?
So you're thinking yes?
I think I'm just sort of looking if there's a specific configuration that uses, like, you know, why would somebody, I mean, you know, if there's a specific Kubernetes configuration that itself we would agree is critical that prefers this, then I think that, given as we've been saying, this is the, you know, external visibility, it's the you know, this is the proxy, that I can definitely, you know, go along with. You know, if by default somebody's downloading some, you know, standard Docker configuration for some, you know, Docker image that's always using traffic, then, well, I mean, in some ways it's even more critical because it's this, you know, web front end is the interface, and people are using this without thinking. I mean, in other words, if it's just there and they're using it, it's even more that this is something that just needs to be robust, because people aren't actually bothering to think about the configuration.
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm good with yes consensus on the consensus. What about you, Caleb?
Vault.
I would lean to yes. Yeah, just because it is like on the edge of the network by its definition. And the sort of stuff that it is probably protecting or sitting behind it.
All right. Let's go next. Vault. Clearly, it stores a lot of passwords.
Is this the HashiCorp one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty widely used unless people just use their built-in cloud, secret store. Like, if you're going to use a secret store that's not the one that's built into your cloud provider, you're going to use this.
Yeah, I'm leaning to yes. Yes.
Clearly, it's going to have all the keys to the kingdom.
And it's also the de facto standard as far as these things
I think
go.
it is, yeah.
Like if I was building a system and I need security storage, I'd be like, Vault would be on the top of, like on the short list of things.
Yeah, but it would be right behind just like the GCP secret store or whatever.
Yeah. So any like cloud native storage, yes. Yeah. But the fact that it's kind of agnostic, yeah, I think I have used it before as well. But crypto is notoriously full of fails. So
WAF Community Edition.
Build system. Do I have an issue here? Must have been suggested some other format.
Community edition.
That means that like somebody in the community like added a line or something, or like suggested it in the Slack, or I don't know, in some way that wasn't on a GitHub issue.
Yeah, it'd be nice if they came with a rationale.
Yeah.
Oh, you just want everything given to you.
Yeah. Even if it's like, I think a lot of people use this project, like anything more than Samba.
I mean, I'm trying to understand if they're confused between this and like WAF as the security.
Yeah, they've not done a great job distinguishing themselves from the web application firewall and
right. So that's what system. I thought they meant. So like if a person's saying yes, the web application, maybe that's what the person meant, is the web application firewall. Like that, yeah, okay, but
yeah.
This WAF, I don't get.
It's a build system.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, we don't know which WAF they were actually referring to.
Oh, we're gonna go with this one then.
Okay, I'd say no to this.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, the only thing that's really interesting is that it's used for Samba, like, but I don't think it's like
critical.
Critical in the same way.
WordPress.
Well, there's never been a security problem there, so this.
It's the WordPress is definitely critical. The only question I've got is it also has a lot of eyes on it.
Yeah, I don't think we consider that here. So
if we don't consider that here, then it's I'll add it.
The only thing I have is like, what do people run with WordPress, and like, what's the big deal? Like, there's a ton of stuff. But what if it all gets compromised?
So online commerce is often run on WordPress stuff. So yeah, and lots. Oh man, there's so much. Yeah, gets run on WordPress. Like the obvious thing is a lot of blogs and company websites run on WordPress. But there are plugins that like let it do other things like data collection and like online shopping and things like that. So yeah, it's the sort of thing where a plugin getting compromised that runs on enough websites ends up as a news item. So
So what did you say, like data acquisition or?
so yeah, I don't know. It's just the fact that like if you're not wanting to spend a lot of time
Yeah.
building a website, or if you're an agency building websites, you may use WordPress as the basis for how you stand these things up. So the sheer scale of WordPress is
Yeah.
like really crazy. Still amazing that it's like the thing that won. It's like, yeah, the ease
Well,
of
it's just there
extension.
early. I mean, yeah, it
Yeah.
was easy to do, and you know, I mean, that was back. I mean, is it still a PHP or still uses PHP a lot?
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
So
Oh yeah.
you know, I mean, it was the early. I mean, you know, the early webs. I mean, you know, Apache HTTPD. I mean, there weren't a lot of other, you know, backends. So it's just, I mean, I just remember WordPress being around forever. So.
Yeah, it is owned by Automatic, who also own a crazy other number of things.
Zookeeper.
We all like to know where our stuff is.
My instinct is yes on Zookeeper, unless it's like fallen out of favor. But I think
Do people still use the alternatives? I mean, Zookeeper is very popular.
yeah, I mean, I think anything that's like Apache, Java, you know, enterprisey is gonna have Zookeeper or somewhere, any kind of big system.
Like etcd was the kind of other flavor of it.
Oh, but that's late.
But it came out a long time later.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. The traffic is listed as an alternative on one search.
Let's say yes. Anybody?
Yeah.
You okay with that?
Yep.
Cool. All right, we're done. I think. We'll leave those two for later. So the thing that we didn't do yet is go through the current set and see if there's anything we want to take off. I did kind of ask people to put some stuff in, but I don't know if anybody did. Do we want to do like an offline pass on this and maybe see if there's anything that pops up? If not, then we ignore it, or you want to go through this live?
They're all really good. Yeah, like on first pass, I wouldn't turn any of these out. Yeah, it's you'd almost have to stack rank them, and which is itself like almost impossible to figure out what stuff floats to the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I suspect that any stack ranking will be everyone agrees on the stuff at the top, but then at the bottom, like the lists are totally different. So it's going to be hard. Oh, I can't believe Joomla is still around.
Okay, well, Did you all have any thought on? We'll go down some. This.
Okay, so the difference is this one has more.
Yeah, this is
entries.
the 10,000, like a list of about 10,000, right? So I, you know, and I'll
It's
ask,
also automated.
yeah, it should be
Mhm.
automated.
I mean, I
I'll
think
speak with
part of
John.
this was for securing critical projects to take sort of ownership
Yeah, absolutely.
of this
Yeah.
list.
Mhm.
I mean, there's things I mean, there's ownership or sort of like, you know, tender care and feeding of it versus also, I think we were talking about using this as a starting point to eventually automate the critical. It's not use this as the critical projects, but use this as sort of an input for the critical projects.
Yeah, I mean, the second half of what you said is a potential, but absolutely not like tied to this as a requirement for, you know, if we, I think the proposal here is that we own the list as part of the working group. And then what we do with it, we can discuss too, if we own it. But yeah, essentially we take over the ownership. I think I should ask Jonathan to do a little presentation on it too. Maybe at the next meeting if he can, and if there's any automation and, you know, what he would be interested in doing for us. But overall, I think it makes sense, and we should accept it.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. It just, I'd like to, is there details in that doc around how it's generated? Like, what does it actually mean to manage it?
Yeah, that's what I want him to present.
Right.
Yeah, I think, sorry, okay, that's good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we were all agreeing, yes, you know.
Yes.
What did we just agree to?
Yes.
Yes, we'll do this. What did we just agree to?
Well, yeah, it's like, it makes sense. Please give us more.
But
like, yeah.
But yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll have Jonathan present to us what it means to make it and run it and stuff.
and of course, now that we've accepted this, the software to generate this now itself is a critical project.
Oh, I'd love to see those sorts of attacks against.
I'm not signed in here. Switching topics a little bit. I know that they changed all the GitHub permissions. I'm gonna stop presenting. So maybe I'll present the other tab. So for our group, we should probably have like, and then if we do vote, like if we do voting for this, accepting this list into the working group, we should probably have an idea of like who's a member. So maybe we can use these GitHub teams to indicate who's a member of the working group. And I think being a member is just, you know, showing up and participating. So any thoughts there? What we should do on if the GitHub group makes sense?
Do they include people who are contributors but who may not be in the, like, regular contributors who are not in the in any of those lists, like either as attendees to the meeting or as members of the groups?
Well, we'll be owners of the list, so we can put whoever we want on the list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
Let me see what we've got right now. So make sure the tab. There you go. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if they moved us because they. Oops. This was really, really bad. Okay, so we were under working groups, as was package analysis was a working group. And then I told them, oh no, package analysis is not a working group, move it to projects. But they moved us to projects too. And they haven't fixed it yet.
Is it because projects is in the name?
Yeah, maybe. So we're here, and I was trying to get him to create multiple ones. So I don't think we need all these teams. We probably just need like admins or write access for me and Amir, and then we can use this group as everybody that's part of that's a member, let's say. David, you're not on here. Can I add
And
you?
neither is
Yeah, how do I join that, or how do I get added?
Is this you?
Yes.
Not a member of this organization. So
So I need to be a member of OpenSSF organization somehow.
yeah. Can I add you, or do you have to request? They were saying they're going to open that up to everybody, and then I could add you. I don't know. Yeah,
Okay, let me see.
maybe I don't have permissions to just add people.
So,
Oh, in this team, Caleb, you might be worried about this. Oh, well, it used to be right. This team used to have right access to criticality score. They gave like all these people right access to criticality score.
look, those people are all fine to have right access to that project.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like it's,
Yeah.
I said, make another criticality score team. And because like me and Amir don't need access to right access to criticality score.
Yeah, that's yeah. Long term, it's a good, like having the extra granularity is good.
Okay, so how do I join? What's the current way to join an organization? Because there's only, I mean, who's allowed to join the OpenSSF organization? I see, Jeff, you're a member. Sure. Yeah. Okay, so the organization needs to send an invite. I don't think it can request.
Okay. Okay, I'll message the PM team and figure out how people can join because I want to set up the
Permissions for this, yeah.
not just permissions, but yeah, I want to have our
Well, the voting, I mean,
yeah, I want to have yeah, exactly. Yeah, I want to have our team here represent who you know, I'll go through the meeting notes from the last year and add every person here or something, you know,
okay,
some kind of something or other for how we keep this up to date, and this would represent kind of who's the member of the working group.
Okay,
Cool.
sounds like a plan.
Yeah. I haven't been updating the notes, but I'll update the notes. Other than that, I think we're done for today. Unless
Did we want to go back to those two that you
the last two
passed on?
Yeah, I mean, we can. Yeah, let's.
I mean, are we still really arguing about Puppet or whatever? Is that really? Puppet and lib WebSockets. Are we really?
So this one, nobody's really worried about it. It's just that, what's his name? The guy from Intel said he would go and ask the Yocto project about it. And,
Okay.
she never heard back.
And Puppet, what, I mean, why is this remain controversial?
So I think the question about Puppet was if the open source Puppet was something that's actually widely used or not.
Okay, the open source versus, okay.
Yeah, versus the enterprise version.
Okay, we should probably let's put that in the, or can you put that in the arguments for against now, why, or its justification, what this is what we're worried about, the proprietary versus, proprietary enterprise versus open source version. Okay, that's a very fine question.
Yeah, because I think we know Puppet's widely used, but
Mhm.
I don't know how functional it is, like at scale. You're not using enterprise. Like,
Yep. Okay.
we didn't hear anybody say. I don't know, but I don't know if we have a plan for these two. Maybe we'll just skip them if we can't find the answer. I don't know.
Okay, fine. That's good enough to table that for the time being. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's the no other topics for me.
Okay.
Thanks for clarifying.
Yeah, no worries. Okay. Yeah, I think that brings us to the end. Let's have a little break back, and thanks everybody for joining. See you in 2 weeks, except for you, Caleb. Unless you want to get up
No
super
worries.
early.
It's probably not going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, have a good time. Thanks everyone.
Cheers.
Yeah,
Bye.
thanks. Bye.
Bye.